Okay, where are we here? Let's see. What's going on here? Eh? What are you guys doing? What's going on here? Good morning, everybody. Nice to see the enthusiasm. What have we done with this thing? What have we created? Eh? We created a monster. Okay, where we're at. Exactly where I left off 2 days ago. Exactly where I left off. What we've got is finishing the key block for the first print in next year's subscription series. It's just the final clearing off around the outside here. This should take about 5 or 10 minutes, maybe clear off the sword inside, 10 or 15 minutes. Then what I'll be doing is I've got some blank paper here. We'll be taking a proof impression of it, seeing how it looks, maybe fixing up a little bit here and there. And then taking at least one of the color impressions so that I can start carving one of the gray blocks. I won't do all the color impressions because I know there's a special chance for me this time around. Our friend Jed is coming tomorrow. And he'll be here, so just at the same time exactly that I'm doing color separations, Jed will be here. So I might get him to do it. Just ask him to color right in on these impressions. But first up, I got to finish this thing, so let me get started here. The last few streams here have been pretty chaotic, just different stuff going on. So today, hopefully, we'll have a peaceful, enjoyable stream here. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Tokyo. Osaka is very quiet still this time of day. There's a movie company doing something outside. They're setting up tons of equipment and lights and whatever. It's very common to use this street in movies and TV dramas. It's a well-known street and it's got lots of color and history. And it's very common for it to be used as a location for movies or TV stuff. Looking forward to the day when our sign outside the Big Baron is a little bit more well known. And maybe they'll start using it, using us as the focus point so that people recognize, yeah, that street, I know that street. We're a ways away from that, I think, yeah, but it's coming, I think. don't know if any of you guys have been watching the on the Facebook page, our own Mokuhankan Facebook page. Cameron's son here, he blogged yesterday about the new wood that arrived. I think I showed you a video last week, of our guys, Aoyama-san and the boys going over to a wood yard to look for some cherry wood. And I showed a video of 6 slabs and told the guys to purchase 2 of them. And they did, and that wood arrived on Monday afternoon. It's here right here in the room with me right now. We've got nowhere else to store it, so it's leaning against one of the walls here. And when it arrived, I had a look at it. As much as you can tell from looking at a huge thick plank, it looks really, really good. It looks like one of the heaviest, densest pieces of wood that we've had here in a very, very long time. And Cameron put some photographs of it up on the Facebook page Monday afternoon. So. And what we're going to do with it, we're going to leave it for a little while. It seems it's not damp, but it seems like it's not really thoroughly dried yet. And if you start slicing it into thinner pieces while it's still too wet, then those pieces just warp and twist and become very, very difficult to use. So we'd like to let it dry a bit longer first before we start slicing it up. The downside is if we wait, or while we're waiting, if it warps itself, if the whole big plank decides to cup or something and become not flat anymore, then it's much, much more difficult to slice into smooth individual slices. So we're going to try and balance it. We're going to watch it sort of like day by day. And if it starts to move, if it starts to cup, then we'll probably get a cut and run and have it sliced up, even though it's still technically too soon. We're coming into a Japanese winter now, and it's very, very, very dry here. A piece of wood like this will just really is in danger of splitting. Registration mark still not glued down. No, I forgot. I haven't touched this block since I was here on Monday morning or whatever it was. Now, laying the wood down flat, that only makes sense in two ways. If it's really flat, and our problem is you put it on if we put this piece of wood down here on the table and just leave it sitting there, we never leave our blocks overnight this way. We always stand them up overnight so that both sides have access to the air. If you put it down flat, then the bottom side can't absorb or release moisture. The top side can't. And on a dry winter day with the top flat, the wood will just simply rock up like this. So these 2 big planks we've got here, we can't just lay it down flat because the top will dry and the bottom won't dry. So they're leaning against the wall. In the wood yard, they've got them flat with spacers, and then 10 tons of wood up at the top. It's all really, really heavy on them, so they don't really have much freedom to move around. But here, just with 1 or 2 planks, there's no weight on top. So we're kind of at the mercy of the weather here, the very, very dry air. As I said, we're just going to watch them carefully, and if they start to move, then we'll cut and run and grab a truck, rent a truck, take them over to the guy who slices them up for us. Giant bandsaw. We put photographs of that on one of the blog posts too. The bandsaw is a train. There's a train thing that shuttles back and forth on a railroad track inside the workshop. What's my light spot? Where is it here? Just a second. Here we are. Are we in there? No, we're off. Sorry, just a minute. Sorry about that. My own camera? Yeah, it seems okay. How many different knives, chisels do I have? You know, I'm not so sure, but it's no big deal, you know. My whole toolbox, including the stuff that I don't use. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 13 tools in there. There's a bunch of them I never use. It's only, well, a few I never use. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 in there I never use. So maybe it's about 10. About 10 different kinds of knives slash chisels. Well, one cutting knife only. It's just one knife. That's all I've got. And then the other chisels. It's really not a big selection, you know. It's very, very small scale work. And it's all the same work, just repeated again and again and again. So you don't need a whole different, you know, a lot of different tools. There's a guy I know, shouldn't put his name because it's kind of insulting what I'm going to say, a Sosaku printmaker, you know, guy making modern prints. He also fools around making barons a little bit sometimes. And when I visited him, when I first came here, I was, wow, cool, ooh, ah, got a view of his workshop. And he had what's called a 4.5 mat room. It's a Japanese tatami room. And they're numbered by this number of mats that there are. A typical room in a house is a 6 mat room. And sometimes in a house is a smaller room, 4.5. And here we had a 4.5 mat room. So you slide open the door to look into the room from the hallway. And in the middle of the room, there's a cushion to sit on. And then that's the only place you had to step over some stuff to get onto his cushion. And then there was nowhere else in the room to move around because it was all cabinets and stuff around his cushion. And he sat there like in the middle of a 747 jet cockpit. He could reach all these different cabinets and drawers and this and that. And in front of him was his little workbench where he carved and printed. And he wasn't actually much of a printmaker as he was much of a tool freak. You know, he had every kind of chisel and knife you could possibly imagine. And they were all in drawers, and they were all sort of, I don't know, marked with a, what do you call it, a branding mark? When you make a tool hot and you carve your name on a piece of steel or something, and you can brand it into your tools or something, you know. And he had thousands and thousands and thousands of chisels and knives and scrapers and this stuff and that stuff and barons. And clearly he was the exact opposite of me. He loved the tools so much, he just almost like couldn't bear to use them, you know. Didn't really make any prints for what it was worth, but man, oh man, he had a tool collection to die for, you know. I tell the story with a slight tinge of sarcasm because, you know, we make a ton of prints here, but I don't have a whole lot of tools, so you know, I guess it's just two ends of the same. Love the crunch. I think that's the outside. What's left? The inside this sword. I don't even remember why I didn't do it at the time. Sorry about that, excuse me. Still chasing this cold. Where's the sword here? So, this is next. That's the last part of this spot. Did you just remove a line of the left foot? I don't think so. Left foot. This guy's foot? No. I've just come around here. I don't know what you think you saw. No, they're all okay. Is that what we're down to now? Most of you guys are just sitting there waiting for me to make mistakes, so you can be the first one to find the mistake. Is that what we've got to now? Well, keep watching. They're going to come, of course. The older I get, the more mistakes there's going to be all the time. So. I got the light wrong. We've got to get this light fixed. Just a minute. That's the place. Let's get the camera fixed on this properly. Is that better? Okay, sorry about all the jiggling. Have you prepared for a possible test print? It's not possible. Give me 5 minutes. We'll be there. I'm just going to finish this sword, then we'll be testing it. So just hang on. An update, if I didn't mention it before already, Jed-san, he's in the air right now. Jed's coming to Japan for the Tokyo Comic Con, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Tokyo, Japan time. He's coming in here Wednesday night. Wednesday night, that's today. He's coming in here tonight. He'll be staying here. We're gonna throw some bedding on the floor for him. He'll be staying here Wednesday night. Then he'll be up way early Thursday morning because he'll be on U.S. time still, his time zone. So he'll be up like at 3 o'clock in the morning U.S. Here in Japan. And he'll be on the morning stream with me tomorrow. So unless he gets sick or something, or unless something changes the plan, Jed will be here tomorrow morning with me on the stream tomorrow. And I guess I'll be doing color block carving, of course, because by then I will have done the test printing on this thing. We've done at least one of the color separations, maybe more. So I'll be doing color block carving and Jed will be sitting here chatting. And for those of you who were in on the last streams that Jed was here, I had some stuff prepared under the bench for him to find. I didn't do that this time. So there's no presents for Jed this time, but no idea what we'll be chatting about. It's up to you guys. If there's questions and stuff, we'll handle them as they come. So there you have it, live stream with Jed tomorrow morning. Maybe Cameron will be here too, I'm not sure. So we might be taking turns on all the cameras and stuff, we'll see. Actually, now that I think about it, that might be a good thing to do. Make sure Cameron is here. Ask him to come in a bit early so he can do it. And maybe he can run the cameras and stuff. So instead of just having the camera sit there all the time without moving. So maybe Cameron can run the cameras. Jed will be here. In a minute, I'm going to carve this away. Don't get confused. There's a line here, and I'm going to chop it away. This is not part of the design. When somebody was here, I think it was yesterday, they were asking me how to carve lines and stuff. Not yesterday, on a Monday. And I was just sitting here at the bench, so I just cut here a line just to show them how the knife worked. So I'm going to cut this away, but don't panic. Actually, I shouldn't have told you. I should have just done it first and listened to you panic. I should have let everybody panic. Well, then I guess not, because then it would have been one of those situations where you would have convinced I would have screwed up and that I was just lying through my teeth to deny it. Some says they're noticing a bunch of posts on the blog page today, the Mokuhankan Conversations blog. What we're doing, I think it's coming from here. I asked on the Twitch stream here a week ago or so. I mentioned how recently we've just been using Facebook and that we let our blog get what's the word? We were ignoring our blog. We were going for the short-term gain of posting on Facebook and having all the people like and stuff and notice it at the moment. But Facebook is so ephemeral. Once something's a week old, it's never seen on Facebook again. Because of that, our blog has been just sort of dying on the vine. So I talked about this last week here. And 2 people from the Twitch stream jumped up and said, yeah, I'll help people take some Facebook posts and backdate them, whatever. Excuse me. Take the Facebook posts I've made over the past couple of years and they switch them over, get them onto the blog, the photos I uploaded. I mean, 2-year-old news is not of interest to anybody, but the history is there. The blog gets searched by Google, it gets indexed by Google, and people look at it. Anyway, long story short, one of the people who wrote to me from the Twitch stream, maybe he's here on the stream today, I don't know, wrote to me and offered to help with this, and he's doing that right now. So he's going through our our Facebook posts, going back. I'm not sure how long this will be. Need to go back 2017, 2016, 2015, and one by one, he's re-putting them up onto the Mokuhankan Conversations blog, so that the information will be there. Some of it doesn't matter. It's look what happened today, and it's ephemeral information, but a lot of it's not. This post about the wood and stuff like this, it will be really useful and interesting even as the years go by. So I really regret ignoring the blog for the past couple of years, and from now on we're going to do new posts. We'll put them on Facebook and the blog at the same time. But for now, this young man is helping me. Is it a man? I guess, I don't know, sir. This person's helping me catch up. So if you've been looking at our Conversations blog, you'll see lots and lots and lots of new activity there recently. Old stuff coming back to life. So. And thank you to Twitch for that, for the introduction and for helping get this thing put together. Don't know which way this wants to go. Both ways are stiff. No, both ways are no good here. I think I saw the word sandpaper. Is this going to be sandpaper? There's no sanding here, not at all. We're cutting into raw wood, cutting a shape. After we're finished, the shapes will be used for printing. We're going to rub ink on them. In fact, you'll see it soon, in about 10 or 15 minutes from now. Also, I shouldn't forget to mention the fan page, the Facebook fan page. You know, I saw some new posts on there this morning. And this is such a hoot. It's so wonderful. All the work that's being done. I thought that fan page was just going to be like people just joking around and making jokes about a beard and stuff. It's fabulous. People are making prints. I'm really, really having fun watching these, you know. The one this morning, you know, our friend Camilo, Mr. Madness, you know, my God, he's really taking on some detailed work, you know. I'm a bit afraid because if it's so detailed and too much of it, you know, it's really easy to maybe lose interest for someone who doesn't have much experience. But so I'm a little bit afraid some of these people might have bitten off a bit more than they can chew for a first print. But it's looking good. I'm having so much fun watching it. All right, what do we need to do here? We're going to have to clean up a little bit of the corner. It's not glued down yet, but we can clear off some of the junk here, I think. For those of you who are not into it, the other day when I was clearing the wide areas with a chisel out here, I banged underneath here by mistake. I was too busy chatting on this damn stream. Is that my excuse? And put the chisel underneath here. I took off some wood that shouldn't have been taken off, or started to take off some wood that shouldn't have been taken off. So this needs to be glued down later. There's the registration mark right there. Okay, let's zoom out here. Get rid of this thing. You're carving at the moment. You're carving and watching this. Be careful. Carving and playing around on the computer. Okay, what we're going to do next here now. I believe that I've got everything here. Just a second. Let me check. So the last thing I want to do is wash the paper off before I've carved everything. I do believe we're okay. The lines are all carved now. What you see now in place, it doesn't look so good because what you're seeing is some of this black paper. The paper is pasted onto the block, and in lots of places where we start carving thin lines, the paper gets broken off a little bit. So you're seeing a bit now, there's black paper, and some of it, the paper is worn off a little bit. There we are, there's the key lines. How close will it focus here? Let's see how close we can go. Whoa, look at this. This camera is definitely better than the last one. Look at this. Here's our warrior and his friend, the frustrated blacksmith. So the next step for me now is to wash this off. What's my favorite piece? I don't know. I don't think about stuff like that. The easy, quick answer is the one you're doing right now. That's always the answer you're supposed to give, I guess. But I don't know. You know, there's a lot of beautiful prints. The ones I've carved that have super fine hair detail, that's, of course, sort of favorites because it's ego boosting. Look at me. Look at the wonderful thing I can do. But there's tons and tons of beautiful prints, you know. The 10-year project as a whole. 10 years, one group of prints. Who could do that? Absolutely, some of this will need recarving and retouching. I can see some of these lines. This wood is really softer than a key block should be. And some of these woods, these lines have swollen somewhat. So absolutely, before we start real printing, we're going to need to slice back some of these, you know. What we're going to do next, we're going to do a test print of this, and then I will prepare one color block and we'll start carving one of the color blocks. Let's see now that the black is washed off, let's see how it looks. Can I hold it steadily here? The appearance changes in the shadows, of course, you know, look at this, get the angle a bit different. Okay, that's the last time we're going to see it clean, because what's coming next is black. This is the moment. You either love it or you hate it. Oh, I didn't get any paper. Chuck, 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 chuck. Can I find some test paper? It's a junk paper here. Do I have any paper? Here with this. Look at this, financial graphs. Ha ha ha. Okay, that'll do. Okay, are we ready? What do I need? Got the brush here. Barren, junk paper, some black. Okay, let's do this. Oh, got the wrong. That reminds me too, on the Facebook fan page there, about the people who are carving. I saw one of the, there's a carving, somebody's carving, and then they've got, underneath the wood, they've got a piece of this stuff, non-slip stuff. And for us, the non-slip stuff is for when we're printing. When we're carving, we need slippery stuff, so you saw, so that I could move it around and turn. Anyway. The blacksmith is truly going to be black, that's right. So, there you go. Okay, let's do this. No, not that, that brush. I hear the phone ringing, but whatever, this time of day. Okay, impression number one. How close have we got to this? Who knows? There's our warrior. It's going to focus. Hi, focus, thank you. There's our blacksmith. Looks like we got the face pretty close. Lots of hair. I think we've caught most of this. They look like brush strokes. Grolix. How close can we get here? I think that's pretty good. Now let's see the complaints. Where are we here? Blacksmith should be on the left. Sword gap. Sword gap. I don't know what you mean about sword gap. Can you hold it up so I can screenshot it? I did. You mean again? What are you talking about? The block or the print? Top left on sword handle missing. Just a minute here. Screenshot it. What did you want to do? Hold the print up. Or the block. What's somebody saying here? Seems to be an issue just under the blacksmith's shoulder. What are we doing here? You guys? Seems to be an issue just under the blacksmith's shoulder. There's a hair. Okay, here we go. Is that what you're talking about? Where am I here? There's a hair. You see it? Loose hair? There's a brush hair. And that may have made a blot in the print, which is now gone, so don't worry about that. What's the next issue? In the handle horn is a missing point. A little gap on the sword handle. Okay, what are we at here? Well, I see what you're talking about up there. Is that what you're talking about, this one? What have we got there? There is. There's a bit of wood missing there. We're talking about right here. Right there. What have we got? Let's have a look. There's a bit of wood missing there. It's popped off from something. We may have a repair job coming up. Yeah, I'm not sure. Not today, because today is the next step moving ahead with the color blocks. But yeah, this might be a chance for a repair session on camera, maybe. Don't know. Overall, I think she's okay. We've got a bunch of good, this looks like brush carving. Some of these are clearly going to have to be lightened up. We've got the eyes. Looks good. Okay, so let's move on. As I said, we're going to do color block one color block today. Save the rest for when Jed's here tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is, where's the transfer sheets? I prepared carefully the transfer sheets here. I seem to have lost them. Oh, they're up on the shelf. Excuse me a minute. back to it. All right, I've got the transfer sheets here. We'll just do one of them right now. Do the rest when Jed's here tomorrow. And what these are actually, you know, the black line here has no meaning on this. This is the transfer paper we've prepared for making a postcard size print, but it'll do for this one. This is that paper we've been talking about all the time that's got the double layers. It's got the thin Gumpy paper backed onto stronger paper. Oh, that reminds me, there's Gumpy news. This may be of interest to some of you guys, the ones who have been trying to make prints on yourself. Everybody and his dog has been asking me, where can I get the Gumpy? Where can I get the Gumpy to make this transfer paper? It seems yesterday when I was out of here in Ome, Aoyama-san was phoning around and phoning around and phoning around and following network leads here and there. And in the mail to me yesterday, he said, I've found a supplier of the same Gumpy that I've been using. He's found a place where it's actually made. We've been getting it from a wholesaler of whatever. He's found a place that makes it. And he said, for a minimum order, they want a whole bunch of stuff, you know. So we're like, okay, no problem, because I think I know where we can sell that paper. So without wanting to tease too much, it looks like we're going to be able to supply, it looks like we ourselves are going to be able to supply that Gumpy paper, perhaps starting quite soon. I'll let you know more as I learn. Okay, again, for the newbies here, for the people who haven't seen this before, what we're doing, we've got a carved block here. This is the block that will be used to print black lines in a finished wood block print, as you saw in that little test print. So that's the block for the black lines. We also need wood blocks for color areas. So what I need to do at the moment now is I need to transfer this image onto a new piece of wood for carving a color block. So I'm going to print again just what I did just a moment ago, just what you saw. I'm going to print this thing carefully in the registration marks. Bingo, an impression. Again, forget the black lines. That's nothing to do with what we're doing here. Bingo. And we're going to use a new piece of wood, namely the back side of this one. We're going to cut new registration marks, paste this down, and that'll give us the image transferred to a new piece of wood. Okay, get rid of the ink before I spill it everywhere. Okay, so first step, any block, registration marks. Regular viewers know what I'm going to say in a minute now. To do this properly, I have to use my hammer to tap it. So those of you who have headphones on, please be careful. I'm going to make a loud bang here. If you're wearing headphones, you have 3, 2, 1. Okay, there's our registration marks. So again, just to reiterate the same thing. If the paper now goes into these marks, and I paste it down, those lines are now transferred in exactly the same position that they were on the previous face. Now before I do this though, there's still one more step, because what this is going to be, the block we've just going to carve from now is going to be the gray block, and that has, if I pop up the original image just for a minute here into the stream. The aquarium pump in the background is neighbor's air conditioner, not air conditioner, it's the heater on the little business next door. Okay, here's the image. And you can see around the outside of the characters, the jet has done this brush thing. He's just strommed. And there's no way how am I going to get that information onto the block? Well, I have a printout from his Photoshop data that he sent me. And those lines are in his Photoshop file. They're not gray here, they're black. I need to be able to see them clearly, so I adjusted the saturation to make it black. But the point being, there's Jed's data. Now it's also got the data for the same gray. Remember, this is the gray block turned to black for the sword, but that part has to line up exactly with these sword lines here. So I'm not going to do that at the moment. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put onto this block the outside lines. I think. Yeah, that's the way to do this. Where does it come? Just about to his head. Comes a bit lower than that, I think. Yeah, it's a bit lower than that. tad too much spray noddy there, the spray glue. A bit too tight. When you make this on a laminated paper, you know, too much spray glue, of course, it's too tight here at this point, doesn't want to come off. So. Here we go. Got it. Yay! You find the spot. Where does it go? There we are, I think. For those again who are seeing this for the first time, you know, what did they do in the old days when they didn't have Photoshop files to prepare these things? We said it before, the artist comes in, and once the key block is done, you make those transfer sheets and you just pass them over to the designer, and the designer should then draw all this stuff right onto the transfer sheets. But because I'm here and Jed's there, that doesn't happen normally. So tomorrow we're going to try this with the other colors. That's why I'm doing just one today, this gray. I've got to get started. But Jed's going to be here tomorrow. And I'm going to give it to him. Here, Jed, draw these colors. And he'll say, it's in the Photoshop file. I'll say, well, yeah, but that's the Photoshop file, and here we are in reality. Anyway, let's get going on this. That should do us. So you see what we've got now. What we've got is a transfer sheet. Got the wrong glasses. What we've got now is a transfer sheet made from the carved key block. So these lines, is it focus? These lines here are printed from my carving. It's registered perfectly into the corner. So on this sheet of paper now we have a perfect registration of the carved lines from the key block. We've also transferred from Jed's Photoshop file a bunch of other things. Part of the gray that'll be on the sword, and part of just these background streaks and scribbles. And it took me some time. I've got to get them lined up exactly. If I just took Jed's Photoshop printout as it is and pasted it on a piece of wood, it'll never get lined up. So I had to line up each part of it here carefully and carefully. So what we have now, I'm going to paste this down. Oh, I'm not finished yet. Sorry, when I'm finished, getting ahead of myself, sorry. Once it's finished, I'll be pasting it down. We've also got the blacksmith's, the gray squiggles on the blacksmith's body. This should be his line up because there's one on his head which gives me the exact location. Line up the head and the hammer. bit too high. Okay, there we go. And what's left? Warrior's hair. All right, now we're good to go. Sorry about the fooling around here, just this is what it takes. I'm sorry about this. Okay, we have the block ready, the registration marks ready. We have the transfer sheet of all the gray areas that are going to be printed on this thing. Double check it before we glue it down. Stripes, shadows, shadows, stripes, blobs on the guys, shadows, shadows, shadows on the sword. It's in the right place, it lines up with the lines I carved. Shadows here. Let's do this. It's going to go down. The Wi-Fi's acting up. No. Wi-Fi's okay. I'm no drop frames here at this end. The tip of the sword. Soka. Yeah, we changed the, so we talked about this before. What you're seeing on the screen there is an earlier version of it. This is what Jed sent me as a later version. He actually got upset about me the other day, maybe justifiably so. I think when we talked about this, I tossed off something like, Jed was lazy. He just thought the easiest way to do it would be fix the sword. And he came back to me later. He was a bit upset about that. And I think he's quite touchy about some of these things. And I shouldn't have used that word lazy quite so light-heartedly. And it hurt him a little bit, so I should have been more careful. He just decided, whatever, instead of drawing the foot, he would just draw the sword down. It makes it look, I think he said it looks, the one you saw there, it looks too much like a cheese, what's it called? A cheese knife. So he decided to make it into a regular sword. So, but I shouldn't have, I shouldn't have insulted him for being lazy. Anyway, here we go. I think we are now indeed ready to do this. I'll need my rubbing tool. First, moisten the block. How are we doing for time? We're still okay for a while. So what's the schedule here? Today's Wednesday, and I'll be back here, of course, tomorrow morning, and you know exactly what I'll be doing. I'll be carving on this, and Jed will be here. Maybe Cameron too. We'll make it a multi-partner stream. This amount of glue is important too. You know, too much glue here and the paper swells and shrivels, not swells, it swells and puffs up and the lines get distorted. And not enough glue, then when I'm carving the lines will pop off, you know, once you've carved along one side of them. So how much is enough? It's the usual answer, it's just Goldilocks. You know, not too much, not too little. I should wait a minute before peeling this off, because a lot of this now, there's two layers, right? You've seen how this goes. There's two layers of the Gumpy. There's the original layer there. I pasted some bits on top of it. Those parts have to be cut, because when I peel this off, some places here have two layers of Gumpy, some just have one layer of Gumpy. Did I hear a question? I'll change back and forth the wrong glasses. What am I doing? Dave reads the chat out of context. I do indeed. Oh, look at this. Way down, way down, way down. Mic muted. What have I done? Testing mic. Mic seems okay. Who is this? Footsteps. Sounds like soft footsteps. Cameron-san, huh? Yes, yes. Wednesday, it's Shiba-san. Okay. I think Kawaii-san's footsteps are pretty heavy. Doi-san's are medium. Yours are cat-like. Whatever.
I thought it was rat-like.
Rat-like. We don't start that again. We've got that all up there.
I'm not too heavy-footed then.
I'm not sure if you knew what's up. I know Jed's coming in tonight.
Oh, he's coming tonight.
6,
I knew
about
this too.
6. He's in the air now.
Oh,
so
great.
we can speak his name in vain. He will.
Yeah.
He will never see this. He's coming in about 6 o'clock Japanese time tonight. He's
Okay.
going to crash here. I have to get. Remind me. I did the laundry. I washed the down cover.
Oh, okay.
It's outside, so if
Outside.
I forget to bring it
Okay.
in, so please remind me later.
Yeah. Okay.
It's so cool having Cameron here. Things I can't remember anymore. I just dump it on him, and now it's his responsibility to remember.
Gonna write it down.
so.
Are you about to make test prints with the...
Yeah, we
the new
done one. We did it. Where is it? Here.
Oh,
Here's
great.
the test proof.
Nice.
But before I forget, anyway, so Jed's coming in tonight. He's going to sleep here tonight, and then
Getting-
he'll do the stream in the morning, and that's the last we'll see of it.
Oh, yeah.
He's heading out to the convention. He's going to do the convention, sleep
Right.
out there, either in his booth or at a hotel, and he's going to fly back
Okay.
from there. So we won't see him again.
Oh, wow.
But he wants to do a stream tomorrow.
Fun.
So, this is not going to be one of those gorgeous peels. We've got 2 layers here. You can see all the places where there's a second layer stuck on.
Oh, wow.
These have to come off, but without peeling off the base layer.
Right.
It's really troublesome. This whole idea of using Photoshop data for the color blocks is just so freaking troublesome. Well, the ideal is the artist just draws on it. I make the transfer sheets. The designer sits there and draws on the transfer sheet. That's how it was done in the old days, you know.
Yeah.
And because Jed doesn't live here, we can't do it that way. We end up with this pasted on half real, half copied, stuff.
Mm.
Whatever, it's what we've done up to now. We can do it, but the smaller and smaller the prints get, the more detailed the designs get,
Right.
the more difficult it gets.
You found a good way to mix the colors?
Mix.
Or not mix, but the color layers, the color division.
Well, Jed redid it.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you.
So the point being,
this?
no, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But the point being that the stream tomorrow, it'll be on with Jed. So
Good.
we don't need this. What's needed here? What's not needed?
How's it? Out of your hair, do you have anything you'd like me to do
I know
specifically while you're streaming?
So Ome is not there today.
Okay.
They're off.
So the print.
So
or
there's
the
nothing.
Orders can wait.
There's a bunch of orders overnight, but they don't have to go in right now. So
Okay.
and I got a bunch of stuff that I'd like to chat with you about, but let me just get this done. And
Yep. Yeah, we'll do it.
Did Aoyama-san include you in on the email about the Gumpy yesterday?
I didn't see it.
Okay,
I
okay.
don't think so.
I asked him to find out. The Gumpy we've been buying it through a wholesaler.
Yeah.
Retail.
Yeah.
So.
He's looking for a
Yes.
wholesaler, right?
And anyway, he found the people who make it, the one that I've been enjoying.
Right.
And there's a bunch. It's going to be good. The prices are reasonable, and
That's great.
but it's because it's a manufacturer. They want like a big order. You got to order 100 sheets minimum.
Right.
And I don't think that's a problem at all because we've got every second person on this stream has been wanting to find where can I get Gumpy paper, where can I get Gumpy paper. So I don't have any problem with that. We'll
Put it onto the website.
get an order in there and just put it on the website. So
I think they like that. Be your own retailer.
and for those of you on the stream who are waiting for this one magical peel, not on this kind of block because we've got all kinds of stuff pasted together here. I don't know if it makes any sense. You can see the scratch brushing around the outside, the gray patches on the blacksmith, patches on the sword. So it's a real, patchwork job here. I think we have it down. Stuff we need, stuff we don't need. This goes off. This comes in. There was a call a few minutes ago up there. I heard the phone ringing upstairs, so I did whatever.
Yeah, that was my fault.
But I did whatever. This time of day I don't answer it anyway. So, but usually the early morning calls like this, it's for a print body person,
Oh, okay.
either canceling or can I make an appointment for 10 o'clock or something. So,
Yeah. Should I give him a call back?
do we know the number? Is it something recognizable? Or
Yeah.
is it...
Well, it's not a saved number in here. It was just a phone number. It started with 042.
0429?
I think 0423, but let me find it again.
It's up to you if you want to give it a call, see what it is, but I have no idea,
Alright.
Or just wait till the girls get here, they might know what's going on. I don't know. So.